Hi guys, I hope you guys are having an amazing, gorgeous, abundant day, and thank you so much for being here with me. So in today's video, first of all, let's start off with happy freaking new year. It is now January 2024. We made it out of 2023, which you can see as the title of this video. So in this video, I really want to discuss what I learned in 2023 that I highly recommend you guys take with you into 2024, and what I'm taking with me into 2024. 2023 was such an eventful, powerful year because for me, it was my first house perfection year. Yeah, and so your first house perfection year is all about like your sense of self, who you are, and you know, standing in that, standing in your truth, so you can prepare for your second house perfection year, which is what I'm in right now. And that is all about building a stable foundation, focusing on yourself, your physical assets, things of that nature, getting your shit together, basically. And this feels like that year. It feels like the year of me getting my shit together. So I wanted to discuss like what I've learned in my first house perfection year that really helped me kind of prepare for the second house perfection year I'm going through, as well as prepare for 2024. Because like, if I didn't learn these things, I wouldn't know if I would have survived in 2024. It's just such divine intervention, divine connection, but also me, all my inner power. So I got a list of like what I've learned, and the first one I wanted to talk about is going with the flow. Learning this lesson, and it's not even me learning this lesson, it's me relearning everything. 2023 was like me coming back home to myself and me relearning everything I already know. It's now I'm aware of it again. And so the first thing is going with the flow. I absolutely love that I learned what this means for me, because I kind of like structure. I actually love structure. If I don't have structure, or if I didn't have structure in the past, I would literally crumble. I could not do anything that I need to do for the day, for the week, for my health, for my manifestations, for my hygiene. Literally everything would fall apart if I did not have structure. And so in 2023, I learned the importance of keep going no matter what, and kind of to release control around how things happen and know that things are going to happen. Because yes, I am the controller of my reality, absolutely, okay? Nothing else controls my reality but me. But you can also just let yourself be free flowing and just allow things to come, or allow things to happen, just knowing that it's going to happen in your favor exactly as you want it to. So whatever you ask for is going to happen, but the how you can kind of release. And so really stepping into going with the flow took a lot of pressure off of me mentally, physically, and emotionally, and just allowed me to be free, to have fun. And that was one thing I really hold near and dear to my heart: freedom. That's one of the reasons why I got into spirituality. And so allow yourself to go with the flow, especially in 2024, because not only is it going to let you be free and exist in your highest timeline, but it's also going to help you in letting go of things that no longer serves you. And even though I'm like tapping into the law of assumption, and so like basically it's like what you assume to be true will be true, whether that be for people, places, or things, I'm still gonna let them go, because why are you even like that in the first place? Why is my assumption like that first? Yeah, get on your ass. But yeah, that was the first one I really learned, and I highly recommend you guys allow it to happen as well. If you want a separate video on how to go with the flow, because I have practices that got me there, I can definitely do that for you. And the next one is a fun one. It's all about manifestation. It's all about stepping into my highest timeline. It's how to control my reality. So this year, especially the latter half of 2023, I really learned that I am the creator of my reality, or relearned that I am the creator of my reality, that everything I want to happen can happen, and I can move things in my favor, because your outer world reflects your inner world, and everybody knows this, especially when it comes to manifestation. And so what I believe to be true will be true. And back in 2023, my ancestors gave me back the power that I handed over to them. For the last 2 to 3 years, I really allowed them to navigate my life however they see fit, and I do not regret that. I kind of learned a lot of lessons. I will regret that I had to learn lessons the hard way, I will say that, but I learned a lot of lessons, and those lessons I've learned are irreplaceable. But I really took back my power in 2023, and what this looked like for me was manifesting with intention by myself instead of waiting for the divine to give it to me. What it looked like was me kind of really being in my yang energy as well as my yin energy, which is taking action, being inspirational, coming up with ideas, and then allowing my creativity to foster those ideas and allowing things to be to happen on their own time, and being patient with what I'm doing as well, being gracious towards myself, because I already know it's here. Because when you're in your yin energy, you know things are just going to happen. Everything is in your favor and everything is yours already. Like, you aren't attracting things, you're not going out to get things. Things are already yours. And so when I learned that message, and when I learned how to control my reality, my life literally shifted for the better. Like, I started to do better in my business. I started to become successful. I started to be clear-minded in what I really, really wanted. Again, like, it was like 2020 all over again, but with some intention behind it and some self-awareness. And so learning that I am the ruler of my own reality and that nobody else is, not even the divine, not even the universe, it helped me a lot in seeing how I kind of contributed to certain things that has happened, and also allowed me to break free from a lot of lack mindsets and things of that nature, because all it takes is for me to choose a mindset and stick with it. So I highly recommend you guys remind yourself that you are the creator of your reality, that if anything is happening that is out of your alignment, ask yourself, how am I contributing to this? How am I feeding into this? What am I reacting to that is continuously allowing this to happen? Do you understand? So next, let's talk about manifestation. And this one is called manifesting the easy way. I learned that in 2023, the latter half. And it wasn't me learning how manifestation is easy, it's more so me relearning what I've learned years ago about manifestation. So I started practicing heavily this law called the law of assumption. And it's simply assuming what you believe to be true, right? It's like you living in wish fulfillment. And so basically my manifestation technique now is just really moving with my mind first rather than my heart, because whatever I think consistently, whatever is my dominant story will be my dominant story. And it's been proven time and time again. Like, one time I used it to get $500 because I wanted to get that for my cousin and her bouquet. One time I used it for a bill I really needed to pay quickly. Like, I have just been using it consistently. I was like, yes, this is what manifestation is supposed to be. Easy. And so I've learned from this person, or I really learned from this person called Taylor. I'm going to put her @ on the screen. It's called It's Really Mine. I think that's her @. And she is amazing when it comes to this, because she breaks it down so simply. And it was from people like her that I learned manifestation in the first place, but they call it like attracting your desires and stuff like that. Like, they call it the law of attraction. I was like, what I was learning was low-key the law of assumption. But that's neither here or there. I relearned what it means to manifest from her, and now manifestation is not hard for me. Like, all I gotta do is think in my highest alignment, be consistent with it, and know that it's here. Boom, it comes into fruition. But it's not really coming into fruition because you are already living your wish fulfillment. I already have everything I want. And so since I've learned that manifestation technique, everything has been coming into place. And not only that, my mind has gotten so healthy with everything that comes to me getting what I want. And so now it's just about the emotional world. In the emotional world, I kind of leave to myself, but also my ancestors, because they are very they're very adverse into that. I also do a lot of tarot to make sure my emotional world good. But when it comes to manifestations, I take the reins. Like, if I want something quickly, all I gotta do is think I have it, and boom, it's here. So highly recommend you find a manifestation technique that works for you. If you guys want me to do another video, an updated video on my manifestation techniques and what I've learned about manifestation so far, let me know. I absolutely can. So the next one, which is like how I contributed to my demise. And this is a tough one. This is a big one. When like the latter half of 2023 was me waking up, was me having a lot of epiphanies, because I was turning 25. You know, your brain kind of clicks on. That shit turns on when you turn 25. I don't know what it is, but that's just it. Click. You're smart now. You're clear now. You got some sense now. And so I started to kind of become aware of like my lack mindsets, my lack thoughts, the actions I took that continuously contributed to a lifestyle I didn't want to live. And so when I became aware of that, I started to pivot, starting with my inner world. I should say I started with my actions first, but I started with my inner world and like believing that I am no longer this person. And I started to really break down the walls of my lack mindset, because I was like, if I consistently think in this way, it's going to happen. Or if I consistently allow myself to exist in this being, how can I even exist in the other one? How can I exist in my highest lifestyle, right? And so when I realized how I was contributing to my demise, I started to shift my focus, shift my priorities, shift my actions, and everything kind of fall into place once I did that. And so if you haven't yet, I want you to ask yourself, like, how am I contributing to my demise? And it's just a very dramatic word, right? You can never be demise, you're just learning. How am I contributing to that? And what this may look like is you having lack mindsets. It may look like you not being emotionally vulnerable. It may look like you giving into things like people pleasing. It may look like you surrounding yourself with people that aren't in alignment with what you want to do anymore. You got to figure out, like, what is it for you and how are you going to break free from that, because you can break free. It's letting go is better than suffering. And what I meant by that is, I don't have to hold on to lack mindset and lack beliefs and lack energy, lack emotions. I started to relearn what detachment means to me and use discernment for when things try to bug me and try to make me irritated. Because within the past 2 to 3 years, I have been letting the physical control and command me rather than the opposite. I kind of relearned what it means to not allow every single thing to get on your nerves, to foster peace instead of always giving into pettiness and stuff like that, which has been so amazing. Like, there are certain things that used to bug me a year ago that no longer bugs me, especially since I am very big on social media, or like I have a lot of visibility on social media. Like, people just be saying shit and I'm like, and I have a Virgo Mars. Virgo Mars are very reactive. They do not know how to, like, just let shit go. And I had to learn that during my spiritual journey, how to let shit go and how not to be reactive. And I had to relearn that this past couple of years. And now I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I don't know who you are. You don't know me. I'm never going to see you again. I'm never going to talk to you again. I can block you. Like, it's just such a new mindset shift that brings me ultimate fulfillment and ultimate peace, because I am no longer giving into bullshit. And that is essentially what it is. Letting go means you're no longer giving into bullshit. And that's absolutely great. I highly recommend you guys tap into that. So another one, I kind of learned this over my birthday month, and that was literally when I turned 25, and that shit said, Nadi, you are meant to lead. I am meant to be a leader. And let me tell you how I came to this conclusion. My ancestors, I did a tarot reading, and it was like, I was like, message from the ancestors, what do you guys have to tell me? And they were like, Nadi, you've been acting like a follower, and you know you're not a follower. You know that you were the first in the family to kind of be the black sheep, to break free, to help heal. And you kind of integrated yourself back into the family because of hardships from the past couple of years. But you started to act like you weren't meant to lead. You started to act like you didn't want to lead. And the thing is, I did not want to. I did not want the responsibility of leadership, the responsibility of so many people looking up to me and, you know, getting me together. Because what it means to me, like, to lead is to take on everybody's pain. Like, that's what people pleasing, basically, but people pleasing in an emperor position. That's fucking crazy, right? And so I used to do this with my closest family members to the point where they took advantage of me. And it's like, I had to find that balance, and that balance was essentially me, like, running away. And what I was doing for the past 2 to 3 years, I want to say from 2021 to 2022, so it was honestly like a year, not really past 2 to 3 years, it was almost like a year. What I was essentially doing, no, it was 2 years, let me stop. What I was essentially doing was running away from my responsibility as a prophet, a leader who are meant to lead the masses and lead my family out of hardship and lead people out of hardship. Like, that is my lot in life. That was what I was meant to do. Even in my birth chart, it literally says you may find a career in being a spiritual leader. Hello? So it's like, I was like, bitch, you're running. The reason why you're miserable, the reason why I was miserable was because I was running away from my highest calling and my highest destiny. So of course, I was going to be miserable, because you're not living in your highest timeline. You're running away. You are acting like a follower when you're supposed to be a leader. And so I was like, all right, let me boss up. Let me get it together. And now I'm in a place where I am actually ready to lead and not afraid of it, because I had to build my courage again. I had to build my strength. I had to remind myself that I have the conviction to stand true in whatever I wanted to stand true in, and not running away from it anymore. And so if you are meant to be a leader, whether you figure that out from your birth chart, whether you figure that out from the divine, whether you figure that out from intuition. I even tweeted this on Twitter, that shit went viral. If you're meant to be a leader, but you're in a period where you're resting, and that resting is essentially you running away, but you're in a period where you're resting, ask yourself, how can you be a leader that is going to be beneficial for you, right? That's going to be free for you. And that's what I had to learn those past 2 years I was running away. I had to find a way of leadership that I will enjoy to the fullest, that I would love to the fullest, that I wouldn't want to run away from. And what I essentially did beforehand was creating a leadership where I was exhausting myself. And that is not what I want. I want to be a leader who is supported, not only by myself, but from my tribe, from you guys. And so once I learned that I wanted to be a leader who wanted to be supported and not a leader who just, takes on everything on their back and who is lonely and stressful, it just kind of opened my eyes and made everything so much better, and also allowed me the courage and the strength to be exactly who I need to be, to live in my truth. So I highly recommend you figure that out. And I want to say as well, there's nothing wrong with being a follower. Like, it's followers who support the leaders. It's followers that, gives advice. Like, how the emperor sits at his throne or her throne and they have their advisors. Y'all are amazing too. So if you're meant to be a follower, ask yourself, why are you afraid to give advice? Do you think people don't want to listen to you? Do you think you're not worthy to be listened to? Like, get your shit together, king. Get your shit together, angel. So another thing was, success is in you, not on you. And this was so great to learn, because I had to kind of realize I can't be afraid of success and momentum. Because for me, the reason why from 2021 to 2022, from the beginning of 2021 to the end of 2022, the reason why it was such a miserable time for me was simply because I was afraid of success. Like 2020, the end of it, I was at the peak. I was getting everything I ever desired. I had everything I ever desired, and I was going up. And then it kind of crashed down because I got afraid of how much of goodness I was receiving. And so I still had some things to work on in terms of shadow work, where I was like, oh shit, can I really handle this? I got imposter syndrome basically. And this year I kind of regained my power and regained my identity back. And so now it's easier for me to ride the momentum. And so what I've learned in 2023 was the fact that I can succeed. The reason why I got success on such a big scale was because I, one, cultivated it from my inner power, but two, I could handle it. I would never receive anything I can't handle. And so when I reminded myself of that, it made so much sense as to why success came to me at such a big scale. And so in 2024, the success that I have received in 2024, I'm going to not only handle it, but I'm about to ride the wave all the way up to the sun, to the solar system, to the Milky Way, to the other Milky Ways, to the other galaxies in this world, right? So Spirit is asking you and reminding you that success is in you, not on you. So don't be afraid of it. Do not be afraid to ride momentum. Do not be afraid to be visible within your success, because just as much people will hate you, just so many more people would love you. And that's something I had to learn for my success story. So another one that, again, kind of wake me up and brought me to a place where I am today, it was it takes conviction, faith, courage, and belief to exist in my highest timeline. One thing I was stuck on, I kept tweeting for like a month, was like, girl, you need to live in your truth. Guys, you need to live in your truth. People, you need to live in your truth. That's the only way you're going to be able to exist. You need to be authentic to yourself. That is the only way you're going to ever be able to exist in your highest timeline and to receive your manifestations. I had to learn to filter out the voices that aren't mine. Any lack mindsets, any lack, abilities, and capitalistic mindsets, anything that was not in the highest alignment with what I wanted to manifest, I had to filter that shit out. Oftentimes, the reason why you probably are having tough time manifesting is because you're listening to everybody else and worrying about everybody else. And that was one thing I did, overthink everybody else. And so I was like, you know what? I'm about to quiet these voices and listen to my own. What do I want to believe? What do I want to cultivate? This is my world. The world is my oyster. This is my reality. What do I want to be at the forefront? And once I realized that, I had to remain true within whatever truth I cultivated for myself, because you can believe anything. And whatever you make dominant for yourself is what's going to be loudest. So Spirit is asking you, what truth is going to be loudest for you, and how are you going to shut everybody else up so your truth can be the loudest and can exist in that truth without fear, shame, and judgment? That is what you're going to have to do. A lot of people come to me, a lot of clients come to me like, oh, well, I overthink a lot because what if this is wrong? Or I heard about this when it comes to manifestation. What if that's wrong? And I'm like, babe, what do you think? What do you think? If they weren't talking, what would you think? And how are you going to exist in that? How are you going to believe that constantly? That is how you exist in your highest timeline. So yeah, remain true to your convictions and stand true within your beliefs, and just see how happy you become. Just see how authentic you become. Just see how free you become. People who are their authentic selves are always on top because they're not allowing anybody else to stop them, and they're always going to get what they want. Do you see these celebrities? Some of them are horrible as fuck. Okay, and I'm gonna just be honest. There are celebrities out here who are horrible as fuck, but because they're so authentic, they still get to be in their highest timeline because they're still creating the reality that they want to see for themselves. And so if they can be in their highest timeline and authentic, and they're just terrible, their beliefs are terrible, why can't you? You got morals on your side. So like, you kind of like, you're times 10. So why can't you? You gotta put yourself in perspective, right? You gotta think about it. So lastly, which is something that I never forgotten, okay? This is something like I never, ever, ever forgotten. Do you guys love my hair, by the way? I love it. Let me see how the back look. Oh, this is cute. Okay, back to what I was saying. The last thing that I never, ever forgotten when it came to my success story, when it came to anything, was the fact that the divine is always on my side. I am always divinely protected and highly directed. And I will say 2023, I was slacking a little bit, but it was for my health. I had to figure out, the reason why I slacked a little bit 2023 when it comes to talking with my spirituality, talking with the divine, it was like I was still spiritual, but I wasn't spiritual with the divine. I was spiritual with myself. I had to figure out like what my iridium power is and how to gain it back and regain it back. And so when I realized that the divine is always here to protect me and they're always doing what is in my best interest, it kind of allowed me to let go of a lot of resentment, fully step into this truth of help and support is always around me, even if it's not physical. And when I tap into it and when I ask for it, I will receive it wholeheartedly. And especially when I give offerings, especially when I give back, and especially when I take their advice into account, right? I kind of learned to not worship the divine. I just learned to know that they're such a great support system, and I can walk side by side with them, even though they're elders and even though they got so much wisdom, because I am the divine. You know, God is within you, the universe is within you, you are an expression of it. And so why would I like worship them or put them above me when we're like this? Okay, and so it's just more so like holding their hand along this journey rather than giving them my power. And it made so much more sense to me. It allowed me to be more free, a little bit more loving, and I am currently rebuilding a relationship that I have with some of them. No, we're good. I just had to ask. We're good. But yeah, just know that the divine is always on your side, even if you don't think it is. Go and ask, give those offerings, give that water, and you guys will be like this, and they will be able to give you advice if you need it. But just know that you guys have to be on the same wavelength. That's one of the things I learned in 2023. Telling my divine partners, telling my ancestors, like, hey, this is what I want to do. Help me with this, okay? Don't be trying to go off on your own. I would appreciate it. I had that conversation like in December actually, and it was such a great conversation. They still a little irritated, they still a little miffed, but hey, who life this is? It's my life. So yeah, that's pretty much it for, I was gonna say that's pretty much it for this reading. I've been doing so many tarot readings. It's kind of crazy, but that's pretty much it for this YouTube video. I hope you guys really enjoyed what I've learned for 2023 and it was able to help you with your learning and your elevation for 2024. I am coming back to YouTube, guys. Like, this is the video where, like, I'm not lying, I literally have so many videos planned for January going on into February. I'm just ready to get this going. So let me know in the comments down below what other videos you guys would like to see from me in the months to come, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, loves. Mwah.